It's cold, it's wet, and it's miserable. Looks like another perfect day for some bushcraft.
In the darkest corners of my mind, there's a tale that's hard to believe about a goat named Philip, wild and crazy, savior of a man named IslandJason. Time traveling through the rolling hills, Philip the goat, high on cocaine pills. IslandJason, lost and hopeless, so on the brink of being swallowed whole. The truck pulled up, black smoke rising high. IslandJason, he was bound to die, but the devil came fierce and true. When that truck said IslandJason loose.
Good morning. At my destination. As you can see, it's not the nicest of mornings, but perfect for doing what I'm about to do. Do a little foraging and make a pot of coffee and see what happens. So tighten up your boot laces and put on your rain gear and come along for the journey. Now, I have found morels on this road before, so I'm gonna keep my eyes open for that. I don't remember it being this steep down the hill, but whatever. Walk back up it. I guess I could have drove down here. Forgot about it. That's okay. Need the exercise, I guess.
In a time of chaos, a beast is born. A goat with a taste for the wild and the storm travels through time. High on cocaine, leaving destruction. No one to blame. With a snort and a snarl, the goat makes his way, leaving trails of chaos from night to day. No one can stop him. He's a force untamed, leaving behind nothing but guilt and shame. Time traveling goes high and free, leaving destruction for all to see. No one's safe from his wild attacks, sending the jeeps back, never coming back.
Doesn't look great for fire starter materials, but it's a natural opening, and I think I'm going to try and get something to work here. So what I'm going to do now is do a short little recce around the area here and see if I can find something that I can hopefully light on fire, because it is wet. All right, let's try this. I'm going to set up a little bit of a temporary shelter to help get me out of the rain here. All right. Trusty coffee cup. Pot of coffee. Okay, well, we got the trusty rope. Oh, there's some more coffee. Some more rope. Some webbing. And of course, a small little tarp that we can work with. Got my haversack. Got my roll of bank line. And I have my prusik loops. So with just that, we'll have a shelter set up in a couple of minutes here for us. Okay. First thing I'm going to do is do the ridge line.
He's got his hat on, shades covering his eyes. As he dances with the waves, his spirit defies. With each tug of the line, he feels alive. IslandJason's got a gift you can't deny. IslandJason handles his rod so well. He's got the magic touch only the ocean can tell, casting out his hopes and dreams.
Dressed figure eight is a beautiful thing. So that's my figure eight knot. Again, it's really simple to tie. Take your loop, bring it around, and then back through the loop. And then you got your figure eight. So that's today's first lesson, how to tie a figure eight. So we got a figure eight. Now what I'm going to do is use a toggle system. So I find one of these branches I just chopped off, like so. Barely break them, they're so green right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this loop, go around the tree, and then we're going to take the bend around the tree, take the bend, put a loop through the bend through the loop of the figure eight, and toggle it off, and we will have a secure connection without a knot that's easy to take down quickly. Like I say, around, take a bite, a bend through the loop, put your toggle in, cinch it up. It's good. Same thing, I'm going to do a trucker's hitch though on this one, and I'll show you how that's done. So a trucker's hitch, there's many different ways to tie it. The way I like to tie it is, this is how I always remember I'm doing it right. So if I'm holding the rope, this is comfortable, but if I go like this, it's not comfortable, and that's the way you want to have it. So comfortable, comfortable, uncomfortable. And uncomfortable is good, because what you're going to do now is you're going to flip the rope up like I just did, creating a loop. And you take your fingers through that loop, grab your other one, and now you've got another loop. And that's as simple as a trucker hitch. You take this around the tree, this end goes around the tree, through your loop, and you can pull it back and you can cinch it right up. And it's going to get it tight. So I'm going to say, this is the tree I'm going to do the trucker hitch on. So I'm going to want my line around the tree, like so. Pull it up so get rid of the excess. As I said, this is quite a long rope. I don't really need this much. Okay, now, so you can see better. Now I'm going to tie the trucker's hitch. Remember, comfortable, comfortable, uncomfortable, uncomfortable. I roll up, I grab the loop, and now I have my trucker's hitch. Now, to fulfill the trucker's hitch, I take the other loose end, I go through that loop, just like so, and now I have a cinching point. See that? Cinched up, pinch it, go around, and tie that off, like so. And if you want, you can do another locking hitch, half hitch in there with your loose end. Boom, there you go. Now this, as a ridge line, doesn't really have to be zinging tight, because I'm using the prusik loops and the toggles on my tarp. I'm going to be able to take out this slack that's in there. Basically, all I need this is to be as secure, and that's where it probably should be good. Okay, so see, it's fairly loose. So here's my little tarp. It smells like the last fire I've had. So what I'm going to do, put this over, just like so. First eye there. First eye there. Just to demonstrate how they work. So this is my prusik loop. I just keep them rolled up like that. And you see, all it is, it's just a loop of rope, okay? Now the prusik knot is really simple too. Over, through once, over, through twice, over, through 3 times, and then just draw it tight. And you'll see you'll have something that looks like that. I can move it along really easily. Take the bend of the prusik loop, install my toggle, like so, and there is my first connection. Okay, same thing, I got another prusik loop. Pull this out. This one's a bit longer, as you can see. Doesn't really matter the length. Again, through once, through twice, through 3 times, and then just draw it up tight. And you will have yourself what is known as a prusik loop. Just kidding. You gotta dress them sometimes because they always don't roll by themselves. So there's my prusik loop. Take my bend of the prusik loop, put it through the eye of the grommet of the tarp, put your toggle in, and now it's as simple as grabbing. When these are under tension, they won't move, but when they're loose like this, all you have to do is just slide it along the rope, pull it up, and then I have it tensioned. So, that's why you don't use grommets. But in this case, that'll, oh shit, that kind of screws up, doesn't it? So what do you do when that happens? I do have a solution for that. It involves using my bank line. I'm going to get my knife out of my haversack here. Okay, my knife. So, what do I do? I just rip the toggle out of the grommet out of the tarp. Well, simple solution. I got a couple of pine cones here, just tiny little pine cones. And what I'm going to do is create myself a lump in the tarp, like so. I'm going to take my bank line, tie it around those, capturing those pine cones inside that tarp. Like so. I'm going to tie it as a slip knot so I can get it off later. Okay, there we go. Now, what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to cut this off right here. And on this, I'm going to make myself another loop. So just an overhand or figure 8 or bowline, whatever you prefer to use. And I'm back now. I have essentially repaired that grommet. I still have, oh, I lost my toggle. Where did my toggle go? Okay, well, I'll make a new one. Okay, that's simple. Another toggle. Now, look, it's too long now. It's too long, it doesn't reach. But when this is not under tension, this knot just slides right up. So now I take my prusik loop, I got my bank line loop to my improvised grommet because I tore out the grommet on my tarp, put in my toggle, pull my line back, straighten it up, and I have this tightened. Perfect. Now I can just tie these off. I have my shelter. So I have the basics of my shelter now. I'm going to clean some of this brush out of the way here because
In time and place so far away, there lived a goat who lost his way through the deserts and the city streets. His hooves stopped with a wicked beat, a time traveler with a wild mind, sorting lives, leaving trails behind through the decades. He roamed and roared, searching for pleasures and wanting more. Cocaine gold, where do you go?
like the sun's gonna come out now, so I'm gonna work on getting a fire going and make some coffee. I need a coffee. I'm thirsty. All right, put all your tools away. Like I always say, including rope is also a tool. And I'm gonna teach you another knot here soon after I have my coffee going. But I'm gonna go look for some wood. I will be back shortly. Take my axe with me. I won't need it. Okay, I found this old stump here. Now, at first look, it's pretty wet. It's I don't know if this is going to be appropriate or not. Yeah, it's pretty rotten actually. Yeah. Sometimes you can find fatwood in these old stumps, but I don't think this one's going to do it. You got to get into the stump. Okay, here's another stump and a standing chunk back there. I don't know if you can see it. I'm going to see if I can get a piece of fatwood off that. Nice and hard. This is actually a pretty nice piece of wood. Okay. Well, we got some dry wood there. There is some pitch in there. I'm going to probably end up getting fatwood off this. Just have to work a bit for it. You can see the burls in there and this little, yeah, you can smell it there. I'm going to dig in a bit deeper. This burl goes all the way down. It is pretty far gone, but if I can find that right spot, then there we go. There we go. See, I probably can get something going with that. And see if we can make anything with this. Nice dry piece there. All right, I think we got enough. We can make fire. So gather these pieces up and go back to where my shelter is. And let's see if we can get some coffee. Okay, I've got my fatwood here. It's not the greatest fatwood though. That piece doesn't have a lot of smell in it. But I do have some dry pieces here. That one's fairly dry. I think this was the piece that had the most smell of pitch in it. That one doesn't really smell either. Oh, it's this piece here. That's another good dry piece. So this piece, yeah, that piece there. So what I'm going to do is I'll just use my backpack because then you'll be able to see better what I'm doing. I would normally use my haversack and just put my shavings into that, but I'm going to use my pack here so you can see, so I can capture the shavings that I'm just going to carefully not to cut my pack. See all these little tiny stuff is rock hard. It's even hard to cut with your knife. I'm going to try and knock this in half with my axe here. Here, Lincoln. Oh, that's not working. Almost breaking my piece underneath that. Fuck, this stuff's right. There you go. So I got it cracked in half. So all these little pieces we're going to save on my pack here so that they don't get spread all over the ground. Obviously, I'm under the tarp now, so I'm not getting rained on, but in the case that I was, yeah, stuff's Close to being fatwood. It's definitely got high pitch content in it, but it might be difficult to get started just because it seems like it's a little wet.
There is a white slash on a black flag. They call it diagonal. And it's been the rise of many white men. And God, I hope I'm one. Philip is a time traveler, addicted to lines of glow. And Larry is a crazy fucking loon who loves to mix soap. Now the only thing a bigot needs is a fucking bucket and a mop. Cause he's going to have some wet ass pussy after he's done the grift shop.
Try to break this off. Okay. There, I'm gonna start my fire on top of that. Now, you always ask me, what's in your haversack, Jason? Well, for a special occasion like this, I'm gonna make it a little easy on us. I've got a little secret weapon here I'm gonna use. My jute. So I'm gonna go with 12 inches, 12-inch piece of jute, and I'm going to bugs here. Whew. And if I can, I'm going to untwist it. Untwist the jute fiber. Yeah, there we go. Have a coffee shortly here. I might just move that over the fire a little bit better. That's not too bad, actually. Not too bad. I think we'll try that. You can quite literally see the pitch coming out of the wood there. think it's hot. Perfect. Okay, so cowboy coffee, here we come. Some coffee grounds. Let's make it strong. Let's give it a little shot of cold water. Just let it brew for a second. And we're just going to give it a shot of cold water, and that should drive. Just like that, and you'll see all the grounds sink, although they don't look like they are. I'm going to drink it anyways. Here we go. Cold water trick didn't work that well. But it's a coffee anyways, nevertheless, so that's what matters. Alright, well, that's it. I'm going to tear down my stuff and head home and think of the next thing to do. But thanks for watching. Hopefully you can like my video. You can click on the subscribe if you haven't already, and if you're really generous, you can even share it with your other social medias. I appreciate everybody following
In the
along.
misty morn,
stay in the bush
by the ocean's edge, I saw IslandJason, his legend widespread. He had a long rod, they all claimed it true. What's the worth of a man if that's all that he can do? Through the rolling waves on the sandy shore, IslandJason strutted, thinking he's hardcore. But I couldn't help but wonder what's beneath his masquerade. Is there more to this man than the tales that have been made? Oh, IslandJason, with your rod so long, is that really all you bring? What makes you strong? Beyond the surface, beneath the mask you wear, there must be something deeper, something real to share.